Special events used for creating things that wouldn't be in the calendar. Let's say we're going to have an open house where we wanted to keep the building occupied for a period of time. We provide a label after we click add, and then we choose. There's a couple types of entries you can make in any of the calendars or scheduling of special events. One is a date. It's useful for just a specific date. You enter the date using the drop down keys, or you can use the calendar button on the right and navigate. The inner arrows go months and the outer arrows do years. You can choose date range. So if you have a multi-day event, you can choose which dates that would run in between. And this calendar that we define would take place through that range of dates. Week and day, another way of defining how this day is. I use these a lot for recurring things like first Monday of every month. If you have a meeting, you could come into here and define that it's Monday, the first week of any month, and then that would recur without having to enter each date that you're having that event. And custom allows any range of selections on things. If you wanted to choose multiple months, or if you had something, let's say every other month, January, March, May, July, September, November, I just hold down the control key and select each of the individual months. You can also click one single thing, hold down shift, and it'll select everything in between your two clicks. So for our open house, I'll set that as just a date, and it's July 24th. Click OK. Our date has now been set in our calendar, but it's not scheduled, so it says unscheduled. It'll have no change to the calendar unless we set something here. I click and drag in this area and set what I want to happen in that time frame. So changing this to unoccupied, I can say that on the 24th we will be unoccupied from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m., but then on the unscheduled areas it would follow a weekly schedule. So in this case we would have 6 a.m. it would be unoccupied. At 3 p.m. it would go back to the week schedule, which is occupied, and it would maintain occupied until 6 p.m. Same controls as the main weekly schedule. I can manipulate this by clicking, dragging, and changing the times down at the bottom. Make sure save any changes that you make, or we can refresh and go back to where we were before. The order of the scheduling here, in this case, it's whatever's on top wins. So if we had a holiday also fell on this date that we entered, the open house would win and we would be occupied, even though the holiday would be unoccupied. If we wanted the holiday to win out, we would click on that and just raise its priority. And so the holiday takes priority over this event. Other buttons down here, you have rename. So you change the name of your event, and delete and edit to manipulate that event. Double clicking on it also brings up the edit window. So I'll go ahead and delete this, confirm it, and save. There's two other tabs down at the bottom, properties and summary. I advise staying away from these. These are really for configuration by us programmers. The unoccupied, this default output determines what the background of this is, that default, not scheduled, what comes out of it. And the facets are how it's displayed. But again, I would stay out of this property screen. It's not to be used. Clicking back to return to main floor plan, go into the calendar, and we can add events where we want the schedule to be unoccupied from midnight to midnight. A useful one is or great use for week and day would be the Thanksgiving holiday. That's always on the fourth Thursday of the month of November. So I chose week and day, and I entered Thanksgiving. Choose Thursday, fourth week of November. Click OK. And that in our calendar, we see November 26th will be Thanksgiving 2015. And going forward into 2016, that'll fall on the 24th, which is the third Thursday of the month. Add the ranges as well for a break. Let's say we do a Christmas or holiday break into January 2015. I need to set my date to 2016 for next year, and now those dates will be shown there. We visualize days we have off building set on our click back to main menu. To enter the user management console, click user management. The users are listed here. There's two templates. One's a read-only template. You can utilize this for creating a user that can't write set points, and another template for creating users that can. To create a new user, right-click on the template you'd like to use, choose duplicate from the drop-down, and type the username of the person you're creating, and click OK. Double-click the user you've created. Want to enter the full name of the person, a password, and confirm their password. And at the bottom, choose Force Password Reset if you'd like them to enter their own password once they've logged in the first time. So you can enter a temporary password up at the top. They would use that to log in, and then it would prompt them to enter a new password to use so that they are the only one that has their password. Delete a user, you can right-click on them and choose Delete. You can also set a time for expiration on the user by double-clicking on it. And down at the bottom, password expiration. You could give a person access for a time. One other feature that's in the settings is auto log off period. If you are logged into the system and don't click anything or move, really interact with the system at all, after 15 minutes it'll automatically log you out. Some people like to extend this as they have the system up on in their web browser on a separate screen, and they're not manipulating it, but they'd like it to stay on. You can either disable that auto log off period or extend the time by adding a new timer. Back to the main menu. Next, the system trends by clicking Trend Viewer. In the Trend Viewer, there's the directory next to the building name. This will expand and show you all of the trends that are being kept in the system. There's a large number of them, so it takes a minute to load. So here, tree, we can see every room number and all the points that are being trended for it. So this is room 102, the effective cooling set point, heating set point, room 3 on 103 zone temp. If we wanted to track, let's say, a couple of zone temperatures, we could look at room 103 zone temp and choose a time frame we'd like to look at, perhaps the last 24 hours. Check another room 104 zone temp and 105 zone temp. Just drag over, or you can double click to add them. The range is shown at the top left. Give any of these drop downs, and you can choose a title for your graph that we're going to create if you'd like to print out. And also the colors can be changed by clicking on the color you would like the line to be. Build. And so here's the temperatures over the last 24 hours. The trends only track changes. They don't keep a trend of, let's say, every 15 minutes it records the temperature. What it's looking for is a change of value that minimizes the amount of storage area we need, but also allows you to see any anomalies in the system. So as long as the space temperatures stay within 0.3 degrees where they're at, you see a change or a tracking of temperatures. Here's let's say, discharge air temp of a rooftop unit. So through all the unit 2 points, discharge air dew point. We can look at that and build. So here there's a change. We can look at this trend. You click and drag, zoom in, click and drag again. We can in further and further. There's arrows on the top right for navigating this trend. At the bottom, show time, and the left view. Clicking the zoom out button would zoom us out. To resume, so click here for no zoom. Back main. The alarm is shown on the top left of the screen. Currently, there's 3 objects in alarm. One alarm has not been acknowledged. Click on that area, and that'll bring up the alarm console. When there's an alarm that's currently an alarm, the alarm console beeps. There's a silence button you can click to silence the beeping. The alarm states are shown. Currently, all of these items are in alarm. You can see the one item that's not acknowledged is here. 1 unacknowledged alarm and 0 acknowledged. And right-click on that and choose Acknowledge. And now the alarm is acknowledged. It'll stay in this list until the alarm is resolved. So currently, a chiller showing an alarm. It's a chiller alarm. Also see rooftop unit 2 supply filter alarm showing a dirty filter, and chilled beam chilled water 4 shows that it failed. The link on the left side. So if you right-click on that link, do hyperlink, it'll take you to the screen showing where that alarm is. So I clicked on the chilled water one, take me to the chilled water screen, and shows me here in red. Clicking back to return back to the alarm console. The alarm is cleared and out of the list. After you've acknowledged it does not disappear, you can right-click on it and choose Force Clear. That will remove it. Double-clicking on an alarm brings up the details, multiple alarms. So if the chiller going in and out of alarm, each alarm instance would sit with the timestamp of when it happened. You can double-click on those alarms, get more information showing when they happened. So this timestamp is when it went into alarm. It became normal. It will show you when it became normal. This is the time when it was acknowledged. You have notes to the alarm. So there is an alarm database that you could go back through the alarms and once you acknowledge them or anything. If I wanted to add a note here for this, add the note, and when I click notes, it'll show up. So the username training, that's my username. Create a note, a test note on the date. So you could use that to indicate why you acknowledged it or what actions are being taken for the alarm. I'll click these. And that's the alarm console. So back to the main screen. The system has an audit log, tracks all of the changes made to the system. Clicking the audit log button, we'll get into the audit log. Change this tracked. It has a timestamp, what you changed, the record, what you did, to show the slot name, what it was previous, what it is now, and you changed it. So recognizing this, if I do today and change timestamp to the latest one, you can see what changes that have been made. I trained you currently how the changes we made counters 7 times of this. So here's all the changes we made. An example here we allowed the valve override to 50%, and that's on chilled beam 36 or 37.